The sign. In the morning after this night, Zarathustra jumped up from his resting place, girded his loins, and came out of his cave glowing and strong as a morning sun that comes out of the dark mountains. "You great star," he said, as he had said once before. "You deep eye of happiness. What would your happiness be had you not for those for whom you shine? And if they stayed in their chambers even after you had awakened and come and given and distributed, how angry would your proud shame be? Well then, they still sleep, these higher men, while I am awake. These are not my proper companions. It is not for them that I wait here in my mountains. I want to go to my work, to my day, but they do not understand the signs of my morning. My stride is for them no summons to awaken. They still sleep in my cave, that their dream still drinks of my drunken songs. The ear that listens for me, the heedful ear, is lacking in their limbs." Thus had Zarathustra spoken to his heart when the sun rose. Then he looked questioningly into the height, for he heard the sharp cry of his eagle above him. "Well then," he cried back, "thus it pleases and suits me. My animals are awake, for I am awake. My eagle is awake and honors the sun as I do. With eagle talons he grasps for the new light. You are the right animals for me. I love you, but I still lack the right men." Thus spoke Zarathustra, but then it happened that he suddenly heard himself surrounded as by innumerable swarming and fluttering birds. But the whirring of so many wings and the thronging about his head were so great that he closed his eyes, and verily, like a cloud it came over him, like a cloud of arrows that empties itself over a new enemy. But behold, here it was a cloud of love, and over a new friend. "What is happening to me?" thought Zarathustra in his surprised heart, and slowly he sat down on the big stone that lay near the exit of his cave. But as he reached out with his hands around and over and under himself, warding off the affectionate birds, behold, something stranger yet had happened to him. For unwittingly, he reached into a thick, warm mane, and at the same time he heard a roar in front of him, a soft, long lion roar. "The sign is at hand," said Zarathustra, and a change came over his heart. And indeed, as it became light before him, a mighty yellow animal lay at his feet, and pressed its head against his knees, and out of love did not want to let go of him, and acted like a dog that finds its old master again. But the doves were no less eager in their love than the lion. And whenever a dove slipped over the lion's nose, the lion shook its head and was amazed and laughed. About all this, Zarathustra spoke but a single sentence: "My children are near, my children." Then he became entirely silent, but his heart was loosed, and tears dropped from his eyes and fell on his hands, and he no longer heeded anything, and sat there motionless, without warding off the animals any more. Then the doves flew about and sat on his shoulders and caressed his white hair and did not weary of tenderness and jubilation, but the strong lion kept licking up the tears that fell on Zarathustra's hands and roared and growled bashfully. Thus acted these animals. All this lasted a long time, or a short time, for, properly speaking, there is no time on earth for such things. But meanwhile the higher men in Zarathustra's cave had awakened and arranged themselves in a procession to meet Zarathustra and bid him good morning. For they had found when they awakened that he was no longer among them. But when they reached the door of the cave and the sound of their steps ran ahead of them, the lion started violently, turned away from Zarathustra suddenly, and jumped toward the cave, roaring savagely. But when the higher men heard it roar, they all cried out as with a single mouth, and they fled back and disappeared in a flash. Zarathustra himself, however, dazed and strange, rose from his seat, looked around, stood there amazed, questioned his heart, reflected, and was alone. "What did I hear?" he said slowly. "What happened to me just now?" And presently memory came to him, and with a single glance he grasped everything that had happened between yesterday and today. "Here is the stone," he said, stroking his beard, "where I sat yesterday morning, and here the soothsayer came to me, and here I first heard the cry which I heard just now, the great cry of distress. Oh, you higher men, it was your distress that this old soothsayer prophesied to me yesterday morning. To your distress he wanted to seduce and tempt me. O Zarathustra, he said to me, I came to seduce you to your final sin." "To my final sin?" shouted Zarathustra, and he laughed angrily at his own words. "What was it that was saved up for me as my final sin?" And once more Zarathustra became absorbed in himself, and he sat down again on the big stone and reflected. Suddenly he jumped up. "Pity? Pity for the higher man," he cried out, and his face changed to bronze. "Well then, that has had its time. My suffering and my pity for suffering, what does it matter? Am I concerned with happiness? I am concerned with my work. Well then, the lion came. My children are near. Zarathustra has ripened. My hour has come. This is my morning. My day is breaking. Rise now. Rise, thou great noon." Thus spoke Zarathustra, and he left his cave, glowing and strong as a morning sun that comes out of dark mountains.